Peace, 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 y'all. This is Empress Coach Rita Nicole, and this is the AM Inspiration Show to wake that ass up. Period. Streaming live on all networks. Now, today, the topic is the relaxation response. Continuing our spiritual and healing week here on the AM Inspiration Show on the Divine Intervention Show networks. Now, with that being said, chill back a little bit and listen to these vibes as we go into our podcast. Period. I'm super duper excited to do this podcast because too often, too little, too late. No, I'm just singing a song. Wow. But literally, a lot of the times, all anyone ever speaks on is the fight or flight, but they never speak on what to do after the fight or flight happens, right? So we're going to get into this topic of the relaxation response because it literally is the follow-up after fight or flight, right? And that's extremely important because people need to learn this behavior. Some people stay amped up, they get sick, they get sleepy, and they're not able to process after that fight or flight, that adrenaline being released into their body and different things of that nature. So let's hop right on into this topic, period. Okay. Now, let's get right into it, guys. I so love healing and different things of that nature, but let's get right into it because, like I said, it all starts with you, right? Without you, then who? Hello. Now, the body is it's built up of like many different. It's so dynamic, right? It's so dynamic. The human body is so dynamic, and it's built in so many different ways. And when you think about us experiencing chronic stress or just stressful periods or something happening to us that may be stressful, it puts us in a state of psychological or physiological, better yet, arousal, over perceived threats, that are numerous and not life-threatening, right? So, but that's in a constant state of that when we're under chronic stress. We're in a constant state of feeling that sense of physiological arousal, okay? And the body's relaxation response doesn't always have time to activate before the next stressor occurs, okay? And that could lead to decreased immunity, increases in low vibrational emotional consequences like anxiety and burnout. Hello? Right. So with that being said, I want to talk about some things today. So we're going to talk about inducing the relaxation response because that's extremely important to induce it because most people, like I said, they don't have time to even sit back like, okay, well, this is the time where I need to sit down and relax and chill. And they're already off to the next thing, So that's crazy. We don't want that, right? So when we are experiencing stress, the relaxation response behaves as a parasympathetic nervous system, right? And that's where it's at. So, like, if you want to look it up, you can look up PNS, P as in Paul, N as in Nancy, S as in Sam. It can be induced through breathing exercises and a lot of other things like yoga, meditation, or simply mindfulness, excuse me, mindful breathing is when you're always breathing like you're in a meditative state, but it's literally called meditative breathing. Okay. All right. So keep that in mind as we get into it. So meditation is a powerhouse of a stress reliever because it works well for calming the body, the mind, and it also helps you to build resilience over time. A lot of people find it difficult to get the hang of meditation, you know, because they're not trying different techniques. The key to getting the key to getting those techniques and stuff like that, different techniques with meditation, is to literally calm down, research different people, research different practices, so you can literally be like, you know what? I tried this one, I tried fire breath, I tried this one, I tried a lot of different things, right? And now you can say whether or not they work for you or not because you tried something. So it's like a lot of people say, "Oh, that stuff don't work." You know what I mean? It doesn't work. Blase blah 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 blah. The whole sing along, the whole song and dance of it doesn't work. Um, a lot of the times, people don't. They're not in alignment with themselves, and they're not able to concentrate. They're not able to receive like that. They're not able to be there and be present so they can receive um that healing, because meditation is healing, right? So just keep that in mind, that if you're not in a state of healing or you're not in a state of receiving that meditation, you probably will not, you probably won't feel like you have done anything. You probably will feel like it doesn't work, literally, all right? Breathing definitely goes hand in hand with meditation because it's definitely an exercise to help you with the relaxation response. I learned how to meditatively breathe years ago. This is why my voice sounds deeper and it sounds louder, because I feel like without me monitoring and controlling my breathing, that I can get into trouble, and I don't want to get into trouble, right? So, in order not to get into trouble, I breathe. Way out. Right. I just breathe through it. You know, like a lot of things I just literally have to breathe through because it's like, yeah, that's crazy. You know what I mean? And you don't want to you don't want to hurt anyone, you don't want to hurt yourself, you don't want to project out onto anyone else. And a lot of the times it's not even worth responding to whatever you're trying to respond to. It's not worth it for the most part. So just sitting back and having those moments of, you know what, I'm gonna chill out, I'm gonna relax, I'm going to take it for what it is and not for what it seems like. That's extremely important. Okay. So stress stress relief breathing is a highly effective in calming the body, as well as it helps stimulate the vagus nerve. That's V as in Victor, A as in Apple, G as in goat, A as in U as in unicorn, S as in Sam. Sorry about that. I'm in my head right now, not in my notes. And it's essential for the PNS regulation. So breathing exercises are extremely recommended. You know, high up there on the tier of recommendations, right? Because they can work to calm and alleviate pain and stressors, even in the middle of a stressful situation that's ongoing. And I've learned that, like, listen, hello, I'm gonna breathe through this because right now this is too much to process. And if I don't breathe through this, I'm gonna panic through this. So it's either like sometimes I feel like I get a choice. I get enough time to because I'm already breathing. But other times it's like, oh, it happened to you right away. So I might, panic a little bit, and then I start breathing through the panic, and then I'm back to regulation. Um, Relaxation response is about emotionally regulating yourself. Literally, that's what it's about. Emotional regulation, and unfortunately, a lot of people don't have that. So they spend their time in the world walking around emotionally dysregulated. Right. So they're not able to experience the relaxation response in a healthy way. Some people experience it by getting arrested. Wow. I bet you they ass woke up now and they relax now, huh? Unfortunately, because you never know where a stress might take you to, the level. That was just an example, right? Hello. Like, so don't get your panties all tied in a bunch. Right. So something else you can try out is called progressive muscle relaxation, right? So these exercises involve tensing and relaxing different groups of muscles in your body until it becomes more natural to find and remain in a state of physical relaxation. Okay? Keep that in mind. All right? So the technique takes a little time to practice, yet you should find yourself able to fully relax your body in a few moments. And it, like, even if it's right away, it can be immediate, immediate relaxation and stuff like that. So I love the relaxation method because it ties into everything that's mindfulness. It ties into yoga, it ties into meditative breathing, it ties into meditation, it ties into exercise, it definitely ties so let's talk about yoga, right? So yoga is one of the best ways to relax your body, declutter your mind, lose weight, get healthy. It's so many perks to yoga. Allow more blood flow. Just getting you in that energy, in that state of peace. So yoga definitely helps a lot, especially with mental health and de-stressing the body. Because it helps to release chemicals in the brain, those happy chemicals, right? So that's what all these things help to do. They help to bring on happy chemicals. This is why it's so imperative to actually practice the relaxation. Okay. So when you practice yoga under a certified instructor, but you can also do simple things. You can try like YouTube University, and look for some yoga instructors, and just make sure you follow the instructions carefully and make sure you find one that you actually like and trust, and that your body doesn't feel strained out or beat up after you're doing certain things, right? Do your research, okay? Doing your research is extremely important because if and when you don't do your research, you may find yourself hurt, um, and just in some place you don't wish to be, right? So just keep that in mind. Now, a little bit more about the relaxation response. Okay. Um, when you are sitting there and you want like you just like wait, where did it come from? Where did it come from? Is she just making up stuff? I'm not just making up stuff. Um, the fight or flight response, which counters the relaxation response counters the fight or flight response. I'm sorry, and that's where it came from. But it was someone who actually he described it. His name was Walter Bradford Cannon at the Harvard Medical School. Of course, y'all know, like, oh God, girl, you obsessed with Harvard Medical School. Well, I might be just a little bit. Period. Okay. Oh, right. So, excuse me. Now, he discovered it, and he said that according to more than 60% of visits to healthcare providers are related to stress. See, that's why. So it's important. Dun, dun, dun. I need it 1 second. Right. So, unfortunately, stress causes the fight or flight hormones. Epinephrine, I cannot pronounce it, but epinephrine and norepinephrine, you know, excuse me, to secrete into the bloodstream, right? And that incites or exacerbates the number of conditions. And that includes what? Hypertension, headaches, insomnia, irritable bowel syndromes, chronic lower back pain, as well as heart disease, stroke, and cancer. Hello? Inflammation causes disease. Period. Period. I've been telling y'all this for years. Going on how many years now? 12, 13 years. We've been talking, sitting down, having these conversations with y'all that inflammation causes disease. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, so I'm back. Yeah, but literally it causes disease. So literally, it just breaks down the immune system in a way that's not conducive for your growth or your health. And that's the problem. That's why you have that issue of disease and illness, and you're not experiencing wellness because that fight or fight response is literally geared to people to keep them sick. Because that chronic stress will keep you sick. It will keep you sick. It won't help you get better. Like you can like, oh, I'm gonna go do yoga. But if you're not really into the yoga and it's not really helping you, then you're still chronically stressed out for years that you're doing yoga. Maybe you need to try a different type of yoga. Maybe you need to try a different type of breathing, okay, to help you with the yoga because obviously something's not working right. So keep that in mind. Right. Okay. Now, that's all I have for y'all today. This was a short podcast. But we were only talking about the relaxation method. I could have went into fight or flight a lot, but we already have a podcast on that. So just go to our Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, Clubhouse, and check it out. Okay. So with that being said, I will check y'all out tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard. Just dropped in to share with y'all today. All right, peace, y'all.